Unlike most of the other factions inside of Kenshi, the Catastrophes have been making insanely great progress to becoming the strongest gang ever made. And while that goal still is achievable, it's going to be pretty much impossible to do without making some enemies. After raiding the Dust King Tower in the last video and turning in their leader to the Sheks, our newest recruit Cat, who was saved from the Dust King Tower, ended up starting a war over an argument with a Shek citizen. Now that we have rescued Cat, he is at Bad Guy City for the first time, and we really need to get him leveled up. I mean, he's starting out with level 1 stats. This is really bad. We got a lot of training to do. But along with that, I want to be finding maybe a few more recruits to add to our gang. That way we can start our ultimate training episode going from 0 to hero. Now before we start, I have a few things to say. I usually save this for the end of the video, but because of like audience retention, I never do this, but I'm doing it now. I love all the support on the recent videos, guys. It's been doing really great, but what the fuck is this? 86% of you aren't subscribed. Like, who the hell did I piss off, man? I thought these videos were fire. If you guys could remember to subscribe for the channel, that's all I'm asking you to do. If we can get that to at least like 20% by next month, that would be amazing. Other than that, I put up a short showing off what my PC looks like, and everybody saw it's kind of like destroyed and corroded and shit, and inside it's really bad. Now, I pulled this out of my house fire, and I haven't really, you know, had enough money to put towards getting a new PC. A new PC is a lot of money for me. And I really don't like asking you guys for money, but I figured because I'm being asked so much, I would set up a donation link. So I set up a paypal.me link. It's in the description, and I'll be putting it in all of my future videos. And I'll put like a little PC initiative fund, so you guys will see how much money we're at currently and how much money it's at, you know, as each video goes on. I'll update it. Now, all the money I make off a YouTube channel, I'm going to be adding into this. After YouTube ends up taking its cut and I get my money in my bank account, I'm just gonna take it out in real life, put it in a jar, and I'll keep that up until we say have enough money for me to get a new good PC that's well enough for at least gaming as well as recording. Finally, there's not much more. I got a new Instagram account in the description. I want you guys to go follow me on. I want you guys to be active on my other social medias if you can. Like, if you got Instagram, just follow me on Insta. I'll be posting what I'm doing, like, day to day. There'll be some video behind the scenes and stuff like that. You can also check out my merch store. I do have one up right now. I have a Cool Kid periodic table design up, as well as an Emo Sluts Fuck Hard shirt and a hoodie, both of which have been seemed to be the most popular on the site. So feel free to check out that if you want to find another way to support me and maybe get something back in return. And then lastly, a Discord server. We got a Discord server up. There's not really too much going on in it. I kind of just talk and chill in there sometimes. I'm not really too sure what to do with it, honestly. But if you want to hop in there, you know, find a cool spot to chill and talk with other like-minded individuals, then come on in. Now, those were all the important notices. I shouldn't have to do this for like another 10 to 20 videos. Well, thanks for listening, and let's get right into the video. We're currently on day 70, and with a main goal to start, we're going to need to get Cat ready for combat. We had a lot of leftover loot from the Dust King Tower, luckily, in our backpack, so Cat did get some equipment, but you know, he was still missing some pants, unfortunately. I gotta say though, Cat has a fucking insane body, like Kim Kardashian level, dude. No homo, but what a waste. If Cat was a chick, I'd be like over here trying to make Theodore #2 in this video. We would not be going from 0 to hero. Anyways, we'd first be dealing with some bandit demands that are on their way to Bad Guy City. Everybody's all home, so no matter what group we end up getting, we'll be pretty set. And surprisingly, at 7 o'clock on day 71, some dust bandits arrived asking for money. They've done this like 5 times, so as always, Beep stabbed them in the face with his chainsaw arm. And then the group attempted to run away, so the gangsters all chased the group away from Bad Guy City. They would end up going past a local settlers camp where only a few of the dust bandits would end up running away. The dust bandits are no match to us, so it was yet another successful defense. Meanwhile, Cat had began to do some strength training with Zagan. I needed Zagan to follow him since he was going to be going to the way station of himself in order to find a few new recruits in the process, and I really didn't want him to run into bandits and die. And I thought it'd be good to get a few more recruits in this episode anyways, as if we're going to be turning one character from a 0 to a hero, we might as well do it with at least a few. First, Cat would find a hiver who had a plank on him. For 3,000 cats, we recruited him, and I changed his appearance, so he became super tall and skinny. I then went on to change his name, and I picked someone from the comments actually this time. Shout out to Dr. Jules. I see his name pop up a lot on the channel, so thank you and welcome to the team. Next, there's one more hive inside of a way station bar, so Cat recruited him for 3k cats, and I went on to change his appearance as well. I was originally going to make him, you know, like a short short and stubby hiver since I'm super creative and I'm like a genius. But I decided to actually make him look a little bit more like a gangster. He looks like he's like trying to throw up some gang signs. Like he looks like what the average type of cool kid gangster would try to look like. Now there's one guy who's always in the comments. He's in like comments of all my videos recently and he's always saying big. And I love him. He is great. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is what we need. He doesn't need to leave a huge comment every time. Maybe he doesn't have time. Maybe he just wants to just say this. Either way, it means a lot and it shows me he keeps coming back. So shout out to you, Nameless. You're a G. The next trip the group would be making was over to the hub so we can try to find one more recruit. Meanwhile, at Bad Guy City, I discovered that Scarlet and some other gangsters were hanging out in the Vashek ruins. These were right next to Bad Guy City, and because I have the Takeover of the World mod, this little shithole now belongs to us. And I can't dismantle any of the buildings. It's kind of useless. It's a big hindrance. I really didn't want it. I need to make sure they aren't hanging out over there though. I don't need to be defending 2 locations from Vashek's. Come on now. So I had a few people training on and off in the meantime while we waited for Kat and his group to arrive at the hub. I also decided it would be a good time to research technology level 5 as we had the books to do so, and this would allow us to unlock the best training options possible. On day 72 at 9 o'clock, Kat's group was attacked by some local dust bandits. Now thank Okran Zagan was there. Seeing as Kat, Dr. Jules, and Nameless were all just level 1 in every skill because we just got them all in the gang, everyone except for Zagan just had a horrible time and was struggling against the dust bandits. Once the battle concluded, Dr. Jules was the first to get up, and he tried to heal the group, but he didn't have enough medkits. To make this even worse, Kat's leg was bleeding and at a fast rate. It was getting worse and worse, and soon it was going to pop off. Now losing a leg, as you guys know, it's basically like a death sentence in a Cool Kid Croc Kenshi series. At very least, it's like a 4-episode punishment of being crippled because I always end up forgetting to get these guys' legs. But on top of the current situation, Dr. Jules also had a broken arm, so he couldn't just pick up Kat and then run to the hub. So he had to run all the way to the hub and then try to run back in time. In real time, Kat's leg was bleeding so fast, the number just kept on going and going and going. And while Dr. Jules almost made it to Kat, there were some bandits that started chasing him. Zagan saw the nonsense going on, so he ran over and saved Dr. Jules by distracting the bandits and beginning to beat them up. Dr. Jules basically had to do a baseball slide to make it to Kat's leg in time. And at this point, his leg was at negative 101, which is insane because it should have popped off. The human limbs pop off at 100. We were so lucky Dr. Jules was able to save it. The group could now regain their bearings and begin to head to the hub. If it wasn't for Zagan though, we definitely wouldn't have been able to save it. Those bandits would have attacked Dr. Jules and then Kat's leg would have popped off and then Dr. Jules would have been injured on top of it. But near the end of day 72, guess who showed up? Some more dust bandits, baby! Let's go! Woo! Of course, it took around like 30 seconds to clear out the entire group as we still had bodyguards, and this gave us just about like no experience. But finally, Kat and his group was approaching the hub gates. Now, because he had been hauling around some bodies and some iron this entire time, he's gotten his strength level up from 1 all the way up to the mid-20s. This at least made him a little bit stronger and took care of his strength levels, but I still wanted to recruit a few more people and train them all up as well. So once Kat's group entered the hub, they looked at each bar so they could find a unique, cool recruit. And unfortunately there weren't any, so I had to go and make my own. For 3,000 cats, oh fuck man, I really should change his name, those sentences are whack. For $3,000, Kat hired a Greenlander female into the group. Now I decided to try to make this chick look somewhat human or appealing to the eye. You know, maybe if we have a hot chick in the thumbnails, you guys will want to watch the videos more. So we began the Build-A-Bitch workshop in Kenshi and pimped this wasteland princess out. I was hoping to turn this character into what resembles a semi-smashable character. Like, if you were drunk, you'd hit this, right? I mean, like, her eyes are a bit ghouly, but some guys like that. My first love's eyes were ghouly. Her name is Orta, and now Kat was ready. He had a pretty cool group set up to go back into Bad Guy City with. Then on day 73, 12 hours after the last raid, guess who showed up? Oi! Chumps! Yep, it was the Dust Bandits, yet again. So this time again, we would end up stabbing the messenger in the face, and we had a majority of the guys at Bad Guy City start chasing down the Dust Bandits. I'm so sick of them. Like, they have awful loot, they give us no experience anymore, and they've done nothing but multiply ever since the imprisonment of their leader. It's fucked. Now, while I waited for Cat's group to get back home, I would decide to set up a few new training stands with a mod that lets me train up some skills up to level 70 with training dummies. The ones that I put down would help us train strength, dexterity, and toughness. I already had an attack and defense dummies and some other ones set up, but these new additions would make the training room amazing, as we could now turn new recruits into strong, capable warriors without spending months waiting for them to catch up. For the toughness training, the character sits with their open crotch about half a foot from an active fire. I also believe somewhere in the lore, this is like Kenshi's version of birth control. Lord Phoenix, he actually would sit by the fire with his crotch open to it. That way he could kill the producing. No, he didn't. I'm just making. No, he didn't. Yeah, I'm just making that up, guys. Don't listen to me. I needed all the new recruits to train up strength, dexterity, toughness, then melee attack and melee defense. With characters like Beep, he also needed to train up stuff like dodge and martial arts. So I knew this was going to take a little while to pull off, so I would have to wait. On day 75, we had a Shek raid appear at Bad Guy City, to which I had Beep run out and practice some of his new flashy moves he was learning. Beep is now doing a lot more damage as well. I believe it's strength, toughness, and martial arts that all factor into the attack damage that you do with martial arts. It also helps that he literally has chainsaws for arms. Then a few hours later, we would lead a defense against the Holy Nation. No, I'm kidding, guys. It's just the Dust Bandits again. You could have guessed that. Both of the groups were taken down pretty fast, and everyone went back to training. My goal right now was to get everyone's stats to the mid-30s to the maybe mid-40s. That way, they could start off a little bit weaker than our current gangsters, but still be strong enough to take down most of what's in the Wasteland. Now, Cat has some armor, and I have ordered a few pieces of armor, but we really need to get some better weapons and armor for our new recruits. I mean, you can have good stats in Kenshi, but at the end of the day, without good equipment, we're only putting a bottleneck on how strong we could possibly be. So after almost a week of training, it was on day 81, I reset the groups for Bad Guy City and the top Gs. Now B01 decided he needed to leave Chompy behind at Bad Guy City. Of course, I know everybody's gonna miss Chompy in the videos for a little bit, but we need someone at Bad Guy City to take care of the place. Chompy is a G and he's a legendary processor unit, so he will do a great job at defending. Now the plan was pretty simple. We're just gonna go south into the swamp city of Shark. But first, there was an exile camp located near the group, so we would stop by that first and then prepare to strike. The camp belonged to the Band of Bones, a Shek rebel group that isn't too high in numbers, but they're still fairly strong. Their leader, Twin Bones, had some stats in the high 70s, so the group gathered up and started charging. There were a total of 18 enemies at this camp, and the group did really well with each battle. I mean, a majority of the Sheks all came together at once, but everybody was able to drop at least one Shek fairly fast. It was within a few in-game minutes, the group was completely knocked out, and the Chop G's claimed yet another victory over the Wasteland. This proved the training definitely did really good, as Sheks are usually way harder for us to fight, and we basically just steamrolled them like the Dust Bandits in this one. It also gave us plenty of loot. We now had a few thousand cats maybe worth of different swords we picked up from the Sheks, so we now had to go into my least favorite place in gaming ever, the swamp. It got really choppy right away, and we had to load every 10 seconds. You know, poor B01, he's walking through fucking ponds like some kind of crazy person. The shit's not good, bro. And I was just like, I was mind blown when this happened, because you guys know how much I hate the swamp. Once I finally got to Shark, and I was ready to, you know, buy all the stuff and get everything I need, the game just crashed. Sweet, Swamp. Thank you for proving your worth. So I loaded back up to see that the group was still at Bad Guy City. Oh man, so we had to go all the way back to the exile camp and then slaughter them again. And then we looted up again and we decided to head back to the swamp. But this time, a group of Shek warriors had walked by our city and began to attack pretty much everyone on sight. I mean, everybody was knocked out pretty fast. Chompy was the only one who was able to maybe repel or kill a few of them, but the Sheks had the upper hand, and Chompy kept going down. He would get up, pick off one or two of them, and then get knocked out again. There wasn't much we could do other than wait it out, and hopefully the Sheks would leave soon. And now the top Gs were on their way, but the game crashed again. Fucking shoot me. I don't know, it could be my PC, but I don't know. This just sucks, so I changed the plans. We're going to Mongrel, boys. as there's better loot and there's better characters up there anyways, and the swamp is awful. If you guys want to see that in the next video ASAP, let's try to get the video to like 150 likes. I'll get the video out as soon as possible. Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment. It always makes my day reading the stuff that you guys leave for me. Then check out any of the links in the description and join the Discord server if you want to come hang out. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.